I think there's maybe 10 plays or 8 plays of over 10 yards. The problem is that, 3 of them are 165 or 70, and one's 55 and 60. And when you really look at those aren't a big structural problem. There's just physically we got to do a better job.
Switching gears a little bit, this weekend you get a chance to go see some high school games. How much are you looking forward to getting out and seeing, being a recruiter?
Oh, it's obviously another part of the job that you enjoy, but it's also sometimes that you get to go home at a decent hour and actually get to see your kids awake and some different things like that. Maybe even see a 5th grade football game too. So there's a lot of football games, a lot of other things that you get to do on a bye week that help rejuvenate you and give you a little bit a better spirit and better fresh mindset sometimes. So that's the great thing about college football. It's the same thing. Once the season ends, you change modes into recruiting mode, and hopefully you go back to the football mode and go to a bowl game, then you go back to recruiting. So things change up for you, so it keeps it fresh.
Did you volunteer to cover the Dublin, Worthington, Hilliard area this weekend?
I usually try to, but somehow I got stuck in the Georgia Savannah area. But there'll be a point in time when I'm lucky enough to get into the Columbus area. So.
How's Curtis Grant playing so far? Through 6 games, how do you feel like Curtis Grant's playing?
Curtis has done a good job. I mean, he's continued to grow. I mean, we know what Curtis has to do, and sometimes as a coach, you focus too much on the deficiencies of what guys have. But Curtis is really a big part of the heart and soul of who we are and what we do.
Good against the run, struggles against the pass, or is that too simple, or is that not accurate?
I mean, I don't know if that's real accurate. I mean, again, it's what we ask guys to do. Still, we try to limit our guys, and sometimes the tough thing about what we do as a defense is you look at guys and you know who you got to put stress on, and just based on their abilities and the things that you're going to do. And some things we're going to put some stress on the defensive front to eat up some gaps and do some things, and then sometimes we're going to put a lot of stress on our corners because we ask them to play some man. So we do a decent job of trying not to put them in situations that we don't think that they can handle.
Can you see when a guy's starting to feel comfortable in his role, and are you starting to see that from Curtis out there, just playing a little more?
Yeah, that's what Curtis is. That's what Curtis is. His first 2 years, he struggled mentally with his confidence, and the thing that Curtis does is he is an energetic guy, and he brings some passion to the game. Mm-hmm. He doesn't focus on his limitations. He focuses on his strengths, and I tell him that all the time. His biggest strength for us is his passion and energy, and he brings something to the team. Somebody can say, well, this guy could do something better, this guy might be better. Yeah, but we're not always looking for just the best 11 guys. We're looking for the 11, the best ones that work all together. Mm-hmm. So, and that's the thing about football is, you can go in the weight room and say, here's your best 11. And the reality is that's not the best 11 because they don't all work together, they don't fit together in some different areas, and guys bring different things other than just what they, might do on a, in the weight room.
Has Bosa surprised you? I mean, just talk about the way he's played, especially the other night. I mean, the second half he seemed.
No, he's very mature beyond his means as a freshman, both physically and mentally. And a lot of things don't rattle him. So whether it's a big stage or different situations like that, he's a kid that has come a long way. But when he walks in these doors, it's not like he wasn't built and ready to go. So, but he has come a ways, and you never know with a guy coming in. You had some high expectations. I thought a lot about him. I had some high expectations when he came in, but you just never know if they're really going to live up to that.
Pass rush in general, are you pretty happy with that? Was a young group, and they're starting to make better and more strides each week. It seems 5 sacks last week. Are you getting to where you need to be with that on a consistent basis, or what?
I mean, if we can, right now, the best we talked about pass defense and some different things, but the best thing we're doing right now is third down. And if you really look at it, I mean, that might be the percentage-wise some of the best stuff that we do. Why is that? There's a lot of different things, but the ability for our guys up front to pin their ears back and get some pass rush, we got a multitude of guys that can mix in there and do a good job of it.
You lost Christian, obviously Pitt Brown filled in. How do you think he did? How do you see that, the evolution of that position from now on?
Oh, he did a good job. Sometimes the tough thing is guys then switch positions. You don't think, well, C.J. Barnett's played for 4 years, but the reality is that C.J. had to play a different position too. So now you start to tinker with the things that you do, and now you start double repping guys at different positions, and those are the things that make it tough throughout a week. That's what makes it tough on a guy that you think that you can just switch from free to strong, and it's not a big deal, or from strong to free, or from nickel to free, and it's not easy. And especially with the different things that offenses do.
Hey, you sort of touched on this, but just how important is it for you guys' mental well-being and coaches for a bye week? Spend some time with your family to sort of recharge your batteries this week. Obviously, you'll be on the road recruiting, but as you mentioned, the schedule kind of changes. You get to see your kids a little bit more. How important is that to kind of get you through this?
It's really big, I mean, as much pressure, as much stress as we put on ourselves, to have the ability to get out of here, to be a dad, to be a husband, to get a couple deep breaths. It's really tough. If you're not fresh, it's really hard to focus in and do your best job. And we do. We go hard, just like our kids go hard. And we need them to get away and get a little bit of a rest and see their families and hang out with some of their buddies. And we need to do the same too. So whether you're a 40-year-old or you're a 18 to 22-year-old, a little bit of a break every now and then is really a good thing.
How's the Dolphins doing? How's the Dolphins doing?
The Dolphins is a little bit dinged up, but I mean he's continuing to come on. He's still just a sophomore, a true sophomore guy that we put in high esteem as well and have high expectations for. And, is still was dinged up, missed a couple games with his groin, so and then he got a little bit of an ankle this past week. So he's had a little bit of a tough go at it right now, just injury wise, but. He's battling, he's grinding, and he's still a 19-year-old kid.
Do you expect you'll have him for the Iowa game?
I would expect.
Do you think you'll have Tommy shut?
It's a good chance. It's a good chance. That was our target goal. So, next week will tell us a lot.
Is he doing anything right now? I mean, was he working?
He's doing some individual, I think.
Yeah.
But we got to wait and see next week.
Hey, does it surprise you at all how well coming into the season, front seven, sort of the question mark in this game, the back end, everything kind of thought would be solid, but it seems like right now, front seven playing pretty well. Does it surprise you how well that group has played for being so young?
No, it doesn't. But the reality is it's a team, and it doesn't matter if the front seven plays good or the back seven plays good. It all comes down to what we all do, and we can't lose sight of that. Whether who coaches them or whatever, we all work together. And the reality is with the young front seven, we put a lot of heat on our back end, and maybe that's comes with some of the territory and the situations, and that's why some of the yards are up where they are. But I know we don't. Everybody looks at stats and all those things, but to me, it's still the number one most important stats, that win column. And you go into a game with a game plan, and you stick with your game plan. If you have to change it, you change it. The good fortunate thing we have is, we haven't been behind in a game until last week. So whether it wasn't doing a great job against Wisconsin because we're taking some shots, the reality is you're winning. So do you go in there and you scrap your game plan for what you're doing, or do you stick with the plan to win? And so we gotta make sure that we don't just scrap the things that we do, so our kids lose confidence in what it is that we do at times too.
Luke, thank you.
Thanks, guys.